In today's society, highlighting the importance of good fathers is very essential, especially because we have so many men who are absentee fathers. These absentee fathers have been given so much attention that somewhere in the midst of excellence, we forget to acknowledge good men who are standing by their families and making sure that the cycle is broken. And so, in my last video, Becoming Daddy, I acknowledge three exceptional YouTube fathers. And in that video, I spoke about the important roles that fathers play in the upbringing of their children, as well as the fact that in many Jamaican homes, parenting roles are being performed by mothers or grandmothers. However, in this video, I will also be presenting three YouTube fathers who are also doing excellent jobs as fathers, but they will be demonstrating to us that beyond the finances and love, there's so much more to being a good father. In the first video, Brian from Stuff from the Cuffs gives us our first lesson in becoming a father. Lesson number 1: loving my wife's body after pregnancy.
It's me again, and this time I'm all alone about an interesting topic. Today is about the realness and the education. My wife and I have two girls, and if you know my wife, or I'm going to try and find a picture and post of my wife in her early days compared to now, she has put on weight. There are some men who struggle with dealing with this weight and the changes that affect their wives' bodies. How do I feel about my wife's body after childbirth? Not once, but twice. What do I want to say about my wife's body and how it has changed? I really want to say nothing. First thing a man should understand, it is not for you to criticize and critique what her body has evolved to be. Now, oftentimes, it is then couples start moving from us to him and her. A lot of it has to do with socialization. So, socialization says there needs to be a quick snapback. It takes two to tango. So, if your wife's body has changed, you have a role to play. Yes, you had a role to play, and now you have a role to play. And the role that you have to play is not one where you become a gym instructor or a drill sergeant detailing what she needs to do to lose weight. It's not to be that number one critic. It's not to be that one to suggest the diet. It's not to be that one who looks on her differently. It is to be her strength. She's already facing a lot of criticism in the public's eye, whether or not it is directly at her. Every time she opens a lot of social media feeds, every time she watches TV, every time she looks in certain magazines, there are women who have, after a week or two, who have, after a month or two, have gone back to probably even slimmer than they were before. As a result of that, there is a constant pressure on her mind that tells her she needs to get back to this place. She needs to look like this. And if she doesn't, her man doesn't see her the same way. Her man has lost his fire, his desire, his drive, his view of her being sexy. She's no longer appealing to him. You now have a responsibility to move past those early days of passion, that fire, and now looking on in love and maturity. When you see her scars, you see our scars. When you see her weight gain, you see our weight gain. When you see her C-section, when you see her tiger marks, you see our tiger mark. I remember the first time I saw my wife's post-pregnancy body in the realest of ways. We were at the hospital and she got up off the bed in her robe and everything, and she went to the bathroom. I don't remember exactly how I knew that she needed help, But I knew that she needed help. And when I went, my wife, who had a C section, was trying to tidy herself. And in trying to tidy herself, she was not having the most success because she had just done a major surgery. When I saw her, I saw us. I saw the love of my life needing help. Yes, maternity underwear. Yes, um the big underwear. Yes, the maternity diaper. Yes, the maternity pads. Yes, the cuts, the bandages. But I saw my wife. At first, she was hesitant. To show you how culture has really affected us. At first, she was hesitant to have the closest person to her helping her because of the fears of how I might see her. But I didn't care about that. I cared about my wife, the heart, the soul, the person that she is, and not just about this flesh. You see, we have to remember that after two kids or one kid, you're looking at 9 months or 18 months of kicking, of shifting inside, of developing, of growing, of pains, of hunger, of desires, of longings for, of different ups and downs and hills and valleys. She has to then learn to deliver, then learn to feed, then learn to wean. Then so much happens in that process called bringing life to this earth. And yet still we get so caught up in seeing the bodies change. We need to move from we need to move from a place of immaturity to a place of maturity and understanding. So when I see my wife, me, when I see that body of hers, I love her bad. I love the new her much more than I love the old her, or even the same if you want to argue it. But my love has not diminished nor altered in a negative way because of the pounds that she's gained, because of the scars that are now evident. The truth is, my body is not the same either. If you know me, I was much slimmer as well. But I've also gained weight. And if I am going to be a critic, or if you, as a man out there, or a woman out there who is going to criticize, let's look at ourselves. It's the same principle, just as the Bible would say, take the beam out of your eye before taking the speck out of somebody else's. Look at yourself. I've changed. And yet still I want her to love me as Mr. Tall, dark and handsome. Well, yes, I'm not as dark as some people may say, but yes, I'm still a proud black man. I want her to look at me and see handsome and feel like the butterflies same way, but I don't look the same. And also, many have to remember that her views of sexual intimacy may change as well. It may be because of the emotional side, it may be because of the psychological side, it may be because of the physical side, but sexual intimacy may also change because of her mindset. She's now struggling and wondering if you're still attracted to her, if you really can find this body so beautiful. Because again, when she looks left, when she looks right, there are some figures that are out there that really cause her to wonder, where do I fit in the equation? You have a responsibility to let her know that despite how she may now look different, especially looking different from the norm that is perpetuated in the media, she is your number one. When you look at her, she should know that you see her as number one. Not one off, but number one. You see, every time you look at your wife's body, here's what you should see. You should see our body. Because it took two to tango. It took two to tango. And she is now where she is because of you. Yes, she played a role, but because of you. Straight, yeah. So see two as one. See a shared life. What you should be seeing is all of those times when you used to rub her belly. What you should be seeing is all of those times when you used to hold her hands in expectancy, walking down, supporting her as she carries your child. What you should see is the first time you heard and saw the ultrasound and the heartbeat. What you should be seeing is the victory of a childbirth, a successful childbirth or two, What you should be seeing is the excitements of the doctor's visits and hearing the continued growth and hearing the success story and hearing how the child is progressing. What you should see is a miracle that is breastfeeding. What you should see is no longer gazes of passion alone, but gazes of intimacy and growing and love, and a love that passes all. It's our scars, it's our weight, it's our body. We should be seeing the evolution and not what many consider to be the destruction of that beautiful body. Babe, you've put on some weight, you've put on some pounds, but it is nothing compared to two princesses safe and sound. Your twins may not be saluting as they used to before, but then again, even my belly is closer to the floor. You've got lines running up and down your body. They're masterpieces reminding how you've made me a daddy. I don't care about everyone and their views about a snapback, nor will I clap back if they attack, nor will I beg them to cut you some slack. I'll only proclaim loudly, a great mother, she is that. We, unlike many, move past the superficial, just the flesh or the looks. You are the epitome of virtue that only is written in some books. You're beautiful, and I'll tell you every day. And no matter what others say, I love you more, if not the same way. Babe, you're beautiful. Yes, you may have put on some weight, you may have put on some pounds, but it's nothing compared to the fact that you've been used to bring forth two girls safe and sound. Your twins may not salute as they used to before, but guess what? Even my belly is closer to the floor.
In this next video, Andre shares his experience as a father.
Man upstairs, get a youth I go make way, get a youth I go get paid. Now everything's turn up, we are come from nothing. Still ain't made it, but we still have some. Me and my friend at my party, and they see like none. Give your praises, and we still have some. Another day, another chance to make a killing. Another way, another plan to make a million. Talking band, can you hear me? I agree, couple times with it. I'm in too deep, too close to quit.
First time finding out that I was gonna be a father, I was shocked. I was a little bit confused. I was happy. I had a lot of mixed emotions and mixed feelings going through me, but I knew that it was something that I had to be prepared for. So whether or not I was ready at that time, I had to get myself ready and be prepared to be a father.
Why is fatherhood one of the most important things to you?
Because I get to see a piece of me in a different form. You know, grow up from it's almost like you're watching a tree grow. Let's use that analogy. It goes from a small seed, to a huge, effective, and impactful tree. And that's how I kind of look at my children. You know, they're small. You know, you watch them from they're small, and miraculously just watch them grow until they're older. And each step or stage of their development is just amazing. One of the things also is that I particularly like the fact that I have that responsibility. I'm responsible for someone's future, livelihood, well-being. So these things definitely put me in a position where I felt like, it's life-changing. I had to, of course, make some adjustments with my life to accommodate for theirs. So, those are some of the ways that I felt. I probably could go on and be quite honest, but just to say it in a nutshell.
Why did you choose not to be like a typical Jamaican who have children in more than one household?
Well, first of all, I had to go off of my personal experience. It wasn't necessarily a case that I had brothers and sisters all over the world. In my father's case, it was the fact that I honestly never really had that fatherly interaction. And I made a vow to myself that I will not let my children go through that kind of a mess, because I feel like there's a disconnection, quite honestly, between the father and I, because that deep connection is just not there. You know, it's just that connection that I'm more so interested in, you know, in trying to creating and building with my children. You know, from them born, them know them see them father, and that's the most important thing. And not just that, I've been very much involved with different parts and aspects of their lives. So, you know, definitely a huge, you know, life changer in that regard.
What values would you like to pass down to your kids?
You know, definitely understand the importance of money, time management, money management, again, I stress that, and have a sense of purpose. So these are some of the values that I try to instill in the children. Them. Also, understanding how to be a leader. You know, I say, even if I was the best leader, I'm trying to instill within you ways and or doctrines, knowledge, teachings that will make you a better leader. So being a leader, be tenacious, be persistent, and be tough. I always try to instill toughness in my children as well. You know what I mean? And of course, make sure you proceed with confidence. Don't care about what people want to think or say about you. Just proceed with confidence, the confidence that you have in yourself. And of course, be optimistic about it. So these are some of the things that I honestly and truly try to instill within the children so that it stays.
What is the best thing about becoming a father?
The best thing about becoming a father is even just knowing that you can actually, you know, reproduce, and just knowing that you can look at a part of you. I always say that, I always keep using that analogy, but that's how I feel when I look at my children. I feel like that's just a different version of me, and it also put in my head that, hey, you have a huge responsibility that you have to attend to every day, every minute of the day. You know what I mean? And this is just gonna be until you die. You know what I mean? No matter what age or stage they are, they're in your life, they're your children. So it's very much life changing, and of course rewarding, very much rewarding as well.
What is your biggest fears as a parent?
You know, my children, them I get hurt, children are dead, and them kind of thing that, those are my biggest fears. You know, but I think everything else we can work around, you know, because of course we say nobody is perfect. You know what I say? But of course, those are some of my biggest fears. You know, the fear of them getting hurt, or of course not attaining their goals that they set out for, separate and aside from just them getting hurt. And I want to say hurt in every single way. You know what I mean? I don't want no kind of pain being inflicted on my children. You know what I mean? Because that will hurt me in turn. You know what I mean? So those are some of the things that I scare, or I worry about at times. But of course not so much, because they're still children. But I do know that we're preparing them for, you know, adulthood, adolescence, and all of these different stages in life that will, of course, allow them or give them the opportunity to experience things on their own. So we just try to prepare them, honestly.
What is the secret to making your family work?
Well, the secret is, you know, discipline and love. You know, love is the underlying factor. You know, I say love, and of course family union and family togetherness. These are some of the things that we honestly, you know, we strive for, and we pride ourselves on trying to make sure we perpetuate this kind of you know, kind of way of how we do things with our children. Definitely, I'm for us being together and of course interacting all the time. I love when, of course, my wife always like when we go to little theme parks and just do fun stuff. And I've happened to, you know, got so happy when it comes around to those moments, because those moments are the moments where we create memories or make memories, you know what I mean? And of course it also shows you how extremely happy a child can be. So, you know, those are some of the things that we definitely cherish and keep a part of our memory.
In this next video, Shane from the Loyal family shows us how dads can play another important role in their children's life.
I'm wondering, and today I'm going to be learning some math.
So guys, we are here because of COVID-19, right? So, the new world we're living in, kids, there's no in-person school no more. The new norm these days is to go through Zoom, where you go learn a computer. So every morning, the kids wake up, they gotta sign in onto Zoom, and they go to class through Zoom, right? But, with that being said, the good thing about it, we are being safe. Our kids are being safe because COVID-19 it exists and it's real, it's out there. So we're doing our best to protect ourselves, protect our kids. So we limit sending our kids out, sending them to school where it's a group of people grouping up. But on the other side, guys, the disadvantage, we have to accept the disadvantage, right? As bad as though we don't want to accept it, we have to accept it. A lot of kids are not learning efficiently. A lot of kids are not learning advanced enough. A lot of kids are not learning as fast enough as they would in person in school, right? And we can't judge a kid for not learning as fast as we want him to learn. And this is what we do in our household, guys. We take time out to whatever subject, whatever topic our kids are having a hard time with. We take time out after school and give them extra lessons. And this is our office. This is our little mini school right here. And as you guys can see, guys, I have this line right here. London, what does this line represent?
Strength and courage, guys.
Alright, so this line represents strength, courage, you know. And it's for us to always to never give up. No matter how much things get hard, think of the line when things get hard. They never give up. They fight to the end, you know. And let's be like a lion in this case. And this lion is very beautiful. And it's here whenever we're learning. So when school get hard, when anything in life get hard, what we're going to do, London, we're going to keep pushing. Okay? So, guys, so we're here because COVID-19. Done. So, guys, where am I erasing?
COVID-19 sucks.
COVID-19 sucks, but this is a new norm. A lot of kids are failing in school right now. Their grades have dropped since COVID-19. Since we have to do Zoom, a lot of kids' grades drop in various subjects. Some kids still doing good in some subject. Some kids, they drop in some subject. Right? And when it comes to math, majority of people, they're not really great in math. You know, a few people are good, but most people, I was too. I was horrible in math too. But over time, practices, I become better and better. So guys, this is a new world we're living in, COVID-19. So this is why we're here. And I choose to just give you guys, you know, let you guys in today on our today lesson. And today we'll be learning about midpoint, London. London is having a little trouble with midpoint. So, the other day she had school, and London was given some math problem the other day, right? And, you know, after class, she was having a hard time trying to understand it, you know? And there's nothing wrong with it. Everybody learn at different pace in life. Everybody learn different. Sometimes some people are having a hard time learning on computer. Some people learn fast on computer. Some people learn better in person. So that's why she getting both. On her school on Zoom, she get online with the Zoom. After school, we take some time out. We give her in person, where we go one-on-one and teach her what she need to know. And a lot of kids struggle because sometimes they need an extra lesson to be better, right? And we make sure dedicate our time to give our kids that extra lesson, and that's what we're doing today. And guys, she was struggling with midpoint, right? Right?
Yeah.
First of all, what is midpoint?
Midpoint is in the middle.
Right,
It's
so
in the middle.
So your teacher gave you some problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they said, find the midpoint between these two numbers, right? Let's see what you don't understand. I want to see where you don't understand. So let's say I gave you, we got 10 and 20, right? And we have to find a midpoint between these numbers. What would it be? I don't understand where you having problem. Where you struggling at? What was the midpoint? How would you find a midpoint for these numbers?
By counting on.
Counting on. So what would be your answer?
30.
30. So how you count on? You add these? How you count on?
I counted
Alright, wait.
them by 10.
So wait, you put 30. Your answer is 30. How you get 30?
By counting 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20.
You count only get 30. Alright, so the answer is wrong, right? There's nothing wrong with that. You get it wrong. And guys, this is a topic that was taught in our school. And there's nothing wrong with it. Shouldn't learn it. That's what we're here for. Some kids don't learn better. Some kids don't learn that good online. And maybe they're not focused. And we have to find different ways. As a teacher, we got to find different ways. And right now, the pandemic is hard for the teacher to spend special time with the kids. We as parents, we have to step it up and be on our game. So guys, this topic was taught to her in school. She still don't understand it. So we're going to go through it together, right? So midpoint. So the teacher asks you, London, find a midpoint between 10 and 20, right? Midpoint in the middle. So you want to find the middle of these numbers, right? So let's see how we could do it. First of all, you add both numbers up.
Okay.
So let's say we add 10 and 20. That's 30. You know the addition, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Alright, so now we have 10 and 20 give you 30. So to find a midpoint between two numbers, you add them up first, then you divide it by 2. Because once you divide it by 2, that's going to give you the middle of the number. So now our total number, between the total of these numbers is 30. So we're going to divide 30 divided by 2. 2 can go in 30 one time. So we do division. Let's do division right now. Into 30. 23 one more time. How many times 2 going to 3?
2 into 3.
One time? There you go. Okay, 1 times 2 is 2. Minus this, give you 1. Bring the 0 down. 2 into 10 go one more time.
10 times.
Calculate your finger. How many times 2 is going to 10?
2 goes in 5.
5, right? And there you go. That's it, you're done. 5 times 2 is 10. This cancels out, it's 0. So your answer is 15. So the midpoint of this is 15. You get it? So whenever let's say you find a midpoint of two numbers, you add the total of the numbers. But you know to do addition and you know to do division, right?
Subtraction and timetables.
And timetables. So you know to do everything. So you know to do subtraction, addition, division, and multiplication.
And kilograms.
And kilograms. When a kid don't understand a problem, especially math, we have to give them a lot of example, and let them practice a lot. So remember the steps. When you want to find a midpoint for two numbers, you add them up.
You add them up and then you do like division.
Yeah, exactly. So you divide by 2. Because when you divide by 2, that's going to give you the middle. You break it in half. That's going to give you the midpoint. Okay? So let me erase. I'm going to erase this.
Wait.
Right down, ready? Alright, so I'm going to give you another one.
That was actually really easy.
I'm going to give you another one.
Not too easy.
0 and 10. What would be the midpoint?
0 and 10.
So this is a different concept. So with math, guys, we have to teach our kids that once they understand a concept, all they have to do is apply it. Because certain kids, they learn like this. I used to do that in school as well too. I used to learn certain way where once I do the problem one way, I believe it's only one way. So when I see a different question that kind of tricky, I don't know what to do because I never really understand the concept, but I just know to do the problem one way. So guys, certain questions give like same numbers. So when you see like a different question with a 0 in it, you get confused because you were so used to using numbers rather than 0. So in this situation, find a midpoint for this.
That you add them up and you add them.
Here, go on the board and do it. I want to see if you're thinking. Go. So, you just to find a midpoint.
Can I get my book for an example? Can I use my book for an example?
Go ahead. You're not going to fully get it yet, but with a lot of practice, you're going to get it. You're going to master it. I'm going to give you a lot of problems. So go ahead. Okay. 0 plus 10 is what? Okay. And then what else?
And then So you take 10 divided by 2, right?
Right, go ahead.
2
10 divided by 2 is what?
equals, I have lost our track. Double check. 2. Yeah. 5 times.
What's the answer? Write 5 up there. Okay, there you go. So that's a midpoint. You did pretty good. So guys, she got it, but sit down.
Here.
When it comes to math, right? It's all about understanding concept. It's not about doing one problem one way because you have a certain number. You gotta go back to the concept. Alright. Always remember, right? I know she was confused with this. So what if the number is on this side now? This way. What if we have 30, 20? What if the bigger number is on this side? What do you do?
Maybe you can use the same place.
Same concept, exactly. Because you was confused with that as well. Because you was saying because it's bigger, you was doing 35. You gotta understand the concept, right? That's it. I'm gonna give you a lot of practice with this. I'm gonna give you a lot of problems. So write this down.
Okay.
I want you to do this in your note.
30,
Okay.
15,
So I'm gonna check them. And you practice them.
Excuse me. Sorry.
So 20. So guys, right? This is what we do every day. Every other day, actually, to be honest, because we have other stuff going on. But we always try to find time to teach our kids. Because the world we're living in, guys, if we don't be on it, our kids gonna fall back in life. Our kids gonna fall back in school, and there's nothing wrong. Because a lot of us, even as adults, we don't have the patience to sit and learn on a computer. We don't, you know. And sometimes you want to ask the teacher a question, you can't even ask question really because it's a Zoom. I've never been on Zoom before. I don't know what it's like.
They don't actually, for my class, they don't actually like give you the answer because I don't know how to explain it that much.
So you don't ask like if you don't understand, you don't speak up.
I don't because then like if I ask her, I don't know how to say it the correct way, and then she gives me the wrong way.
Oh, you don't know to ask. You don't know to tell her what you don't understand. Understandable, but
so I really can't learn because I don't know how to ask it the right way.
you gotta speak up, mommy. Okay, if you don't speak up, you get left behind. So you gotta find ways to speak up and answer the right way. So why are we teaching them? So miss, I don't understand this. Can you go over it again?
It is ideal that fathers are there to support women whenever they go through the changes in their bodies. However, whenever that is not possible, for whatever reasons, it is your responsibility to at least make it your point of duty to be a pillar of strength for your child. Remember, becoming a father takes a lot of sacrifice. Don't allow a bad relationship between your child's mother to negatively influence your role as a father. Your child is dependent on you to be there for them. These 3 fathers are different, but they all have something in common. They are there for their children because they recognize that their presence makes a difference. Don't forget to subscribe to Stuff from the Cuffs, the Wise Family 5, and the Loyal Family. You do not want to miss out on the opportunity of seeing them grow their children.
Stuff from the cuffs, stuff from the cuffs. If you had it back there and you're looking for a smile, bringing hope and joy for a day that was wild.
Man upstairs, get a youth I go make way, get a youth I go get paid. Now everything's there now. We are come from none. Still I made it, but we still have some. Got my friend at my party, and they see like none. Give your praises, I'm still have some. Another day, another chance to make a killing. Another way, another plan to make a million. Talking bang, can you hear me? I agree, couple times with it. I'm in too deep, too close to quit.
If you're down, I could take you on a cruise. If you're down, I might put her ass on snooze. If you're down, maybe we could break the rules. If you're down, just let me know, yeah. If you're down, love your views are showing up with you.